You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
It's the last PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018, and Business Access TV, as usual, is here to bring you the highlights. I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned. Mr. Mitchell, so tell us about the theme for this morning's breakfast.
The theme for this morning's session is citizen security as a tool for effective crime management. It is intended to raise the awareness of what citizen security is, and shortly, citizen security is the level of confidence that the average citizen feels in his community and how he feels about his ability to move around in his environment, and what structures the government, the state can place around the community to increase that level of confidence. How the police force and the security forces behave is critical to citizen security. So we're trying to raise the awareness of the population on citizen security and to make people realize that hard policing alone is not enough, that you have to raise the confidence of the citizens in what you are doing.
So how important is it for businesses generally to be concerned about citizen security?
Well, I think it's very important that the level of investor confidence and the level of the business community's confidence is raised in that their stakeholders can come to work, their employees can come to work, that they can move freely around in the community, and that they will have certainty of operations generally in the society at large.
And for businesses out there considering being a part of the PSOJ, what are the benefits?
I think the benefits of the PSOJ are, among other things, that you get a platform to express your concerns, to express your interests. You get information. We have a monthly economic bulletin. You get President's Fora like this. And you also get to find out what's going on in the society that you operate in. Then we have networking. We have mingles on a quarterly basis, so you do have networking with other members and with important influencers in the society.
So firstly, tell us a bit about what First Rock Capital does.
It's really a real estate investment holding company which has as its core focus real estate investments and private equity.
So how important is a company like that now in this day and age?
Well, truthfully, real estate represents the most finite investment asset, and what it offers is above average returns and stability with respect to capital.
So this morning you're going to be inducted in the PSOJ. How does that feel?
Excellent. You know, the PSOJ's mandate is a very solid one, and you know, the PSOJ has been doing a lot of work with respect to, championing and being an advocate for businesses and just the private sector in general. And what better way to express our support than to be a member?
So we're zoning in a little bit on the discussion this morning. It's about citizen security. How does your company play a role in that, or does that affect your company any at all, do you think?
I mean, security continues to be a main issue and at the forefront as well of all major businesses and individuals as well. So anything that we can do to enforce or reinforce the importance of it, then it has our support.
Citizen security, in every sense, has become a vital part of effective crime management. And as we all know, the crime that currently pervades Jamaica negatively impacts human development, it affects our economic development, it touches our social and cultural rights at the local, regional, and international levels. We know this, that when a country fails to protect its people from crime and violence, it leads to a breakdown in the relationship between those in power and those who are being governed. Therefore, we have to ensure that the correct checks and balances are made to foster that relationship by creating the required community action plans, better citizen police arrangements, and having an overall coordinated system of crime control and crime prevention. We've seen the implementation of the states of emergency. We've also seen a number of zones of special operations being declared across several communities in the country in a bid to really put a cap on the criminal acts taking place in those areas. We've seen some positive results, certainly when it concerns St. James and the murder figures trending positively downwards. And we've also seen where acts of violence in general has trended down in these areas. What more can we do? We will explore all of that this morning. But we'll also talk about whether these approaches are indeed effective and how much more can be done in this area. Moving right into the rest of the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Howard Mitchell, President of the PSOJ, to deliver opening remarks.
The subject that we are going to discuss this morning is a critical but not a well understood one, I think, in this society. I think that it is fitting for the PSOJ to end the year with the same topic that we started the year with, which is the issue of crime. The issue that has plagued us every year for more than the last 30-odd years, that has become endemic, that has been written into the fabric of our culture, that children have grown up with, that women have had to learn to live with, that businesses have had to write in permanently into their balance sheet protective devices for their stakeholders. I think it is so important that we remove the callous protective indifference that we have developed towards crime and face it in its stark terms and understand its motivation, its structures, and how to minimize it. You will never rid a society completely of crime, but you can reduce its impact and the terrible consequences on your people. So that I think we want to raise the level of awareness of citizen security in Jamaica, because if we are going to move from growth to development, then we need to understand that our human resources, our citizens, the people of our nation, are the most critical component of that development. And you can have growth. You can, in fact, have growth that mitigates against development by increasing marginalization of a society and sowing the seeds for its eventual destruction. So we need to be mindful, and we need to start planning for that.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have more from the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018 after this break.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, incredible discussion, On Point, with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung, dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're tuned in to BATV's coverage of the final President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. Let's head to the stage.
I now invite our President, Mr. Howard Mitchell, to make his way to the podium to present the certificates to our new members. So, our first inductee today has joined us as an individual member. Please join me in welcoming Nadine Burrows Siaga. Nadine has managed Island Broadcasting Services Limited, better known as KLAS-FM. She has also worked with National Supply Company Limited, Stewart's Auto, Silver Star Motors, T-Tech Limited, and Prime Sports. 876 on the go. One of our new corporate members to allow commuters to book cabs and make payments online, making transportation more secure for passengers and also for drivers. Bumblebee Digital Agency, specializing in targeted Wi-Fi advertising, digital marketing, social media management, and integrated marketing campaigns. The company has been reinventing how regional partners connect with their audience through its team of professionals and innovative concepts. First Rock Capital Holdings, an easily understood business model. By owning and managing properties that generate income, developing these properties and selling them for financial gain. Green Solutions International is a regional company created to advance energy and environmental sustainability throughout the Caribbean, with the goal of enabling energy-sufficient communities. Green Solutions International, welcome to the PSOJ. Mico University College. Joining us as a corporate member, Mico University College is the oldest teaching institution in the Western Hemisphere and continues to produce graduates who are critical thinkers and prepared to make an impact locally, regionally, and internationally. The Regis franchise is another corporate member being inducted this morning. Consistently providing client solutions, they deliver 100% managed and maintained workspaces as they continue to build their global footprint. Trend Media, they've successfully transitioned from being an online content provider to a full-service digital media house. One of its flagship e-publications, Loop News, is now identified as a credible local news provider. Let me once again congratulate all our inductees collectively.
To our panelists, thank you so much for joining us on a very important topic, one that certainly has dominated the news cycle and the national conversation where it concerns this issue of crime, but more so, citizen security. I want to thank you and we look forward to your inputs this morning. I want to start off with you, Mark Shields. What does it really take to deliver citizen security?
Citizen security, as far as I'm concerned, starts with some very basics that are important to all of us that live, work, come to Jamaica as visitors. I delivered a speech a month ago at the CIN lecture in New York, and I started the point by saying two things. One is, I've been in Jamaica for 15 years, and in 15 years, 20,000 people have been murdered, which seems an awful lot of people to me, and that's 20,000 people murdered, plus thousands and thousands of families, the victims, the untold victims of people who have lost their husbands, wives, sons, daughters, cousins, aunties. So there's all of that group there, 20,000 people murdered. That's a stark statistic. And then we get back to living in Jamaica as it is today. And I have real concerns that before we get on to the technical side of community intervention and real building communities, that we're not doing the basics. It seems acceptable that traders in downtown Kingston can just take over the pedestrian footway. They can hang their garments in front of other shops. It's at a situation where many people who would like to go downtown dare not go downtown because they're in fear. It is also that when I drive to Montego Bay, and as a friend of mine just wrote to me yesterday, he said he is more fearful of driving to Montego Bay than he is of gunmen in Denhamtown and elsewhere. Because as you know, because you guys do it as well, every time you drive to Montego Bay, you take your life in your hands because you see the bad standard of driving. And that is a real threat, and life should not be like that.
Yeah.
The third point I make is something that I've been, let's say, tweeting about over the past couple of months, and it perhaps became even more ironic last week into this week, that, again, the basics. If you look at the so-called licensed taxis in this country, where there are very clear rules and regulations that say that the windows must not be tinted, that there shouldn't be any markings on those taxis, that they should abide by the law like the rest of us, obeying red lights, not cutting up on the outside, all of that stuff that you guys live with every single day of your lives and causes you all stress. And I believe that we have to start by dealing with that. Now, people say, well, how do you do it? I'll take the last one first. There should be a war on licensed taxi drivers and unlicensed taxi drivers. It should be not just the police responsibility, because we always take that short-sighted view, well, the police aren't doing their job properly, but there's a transport authority. There appears to be a very vocal representatives for taxi drivers who came out last week because they were upset about the amended Road Traffic Act, which of course is a good thing and is designed to actually bring us into line. So I feel that we can do a lot. We should be able to live in a normal society, and that means before we get to anything technical, we need to get those basics right. Not rely just on the police, but just take taxis as an example. There is no reason at all why the Transport Authority, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the local authorities, those who represent the taxi drivers cannot get together and clear it up overnight, make it safe for us. We're lucky, most of the people in this room, I bet, drive their own cars to and from work. We don't have to put up with some of the terrible situations that other people crammed into taxis and buses have to. So I think we also have a duty to them to try to improve things.
We are up on another break, but please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Thanks for staying with us. Here are more highlights.
From where you sit, Mark Shields speaks much towards institutional strengthening. But I want to put to you the citizen having a responsibility as well, and how the citizen carries out that duty within the democracy. Do you see Jamaicans stepping up to call for the kind of order that Mark Shields is advocating for, or are we merely bystanders?
let me say, if I use the PSOJ and its president as an example, we would say that they're not standing up. In February of this year, the president called rightly for an oversight committee to deal with crime and violence. Now it is November, and we have not seen it. How many citizens, how many civil groups have supported that call is really inadequate.
We heard an announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday in New York saying that he's going to be setting up a commission on crime early in 2019.
Yeah, I heard it before that it was going to set up a summit.
Yes, we heard about the summit too,
yeah,
right?
So it's not new. What I said on Sunday at a congregation in St. Thomas, and Mark Shields was mentioning 20,000 killed since he has been here. And I've been here a little longer than him. I said that if any year 500 persons were killed who are the brightest and best, influential leaders, we would find the resources and the time to make significant changes. In other words, because it's not affecting us so much, I live in a gated community. Some people have protective services, but anytime it starts to affect us greatly, we will do more.
This is where I'd love to bring you in, Richard Divins, because the question is, how much of a rights-based approach do we take in dealing with citizen security?
Well, this is something that the government has been starting doing in the last years, at least for a program that we have been supporting, which is the Poverty Reduction Program. And in a certain way, the fact that we are supporting the social inclusion of areas of here in Kingston and other areas in Jamaica, the fact that we are trying to promote a better economy in those areas, we are trying to promote the safety, the social cohesion. This is something which is very much related in improving the security in those areas. And in this respect, it is very important. It's very important when the government, or together with international donors, we are supporting the design of a citizen security program in the social aspect of the citizen security, the participation of the communities in the decision making of the activities, of the project, of the initiatives is crucial. Without the participation of the civil society, without the participation of the communities, it's impossible to take ownership. We need the commitment of the people.
The question is, what are they committing to, especially when they already think that it's a sort of a one man against the world situation, the rest of the society is against them. They are there ensconced in their own, enclaves, so to speak, thinking that they abide and apply their own rules. Here comes now social intervention, trying to change all of that. But how much will social intervention be influential to the process? What else is needed?
Social intervention will contribute a great deal. It has been contributing and it will continue to contribute. But by itself, of course, social intervention will not do everything. You speak of citizen security as effective crime management. Citizen Security and Justice Program is out of the Ministry of National Security, but it has a component that deals with the Ministry of Justice. When we look at social development, we have to speak of citizen security, yes, but we have to speak of justice. We have to speak of rights. As you know, Peter Tosh had said, he wants equal rights and justice. Don't give me no peace, I want equal rights and justice. And unless citizens see themselves as owning or owning a process of development, of inclusion, they will not feel as if, yes, it is for their benefit. Our experience has shown, and I'm sure JCIF and other agencies have shown, that residents of vulnerable communities wholeheartedly support and embrace social interventions when they are a part of the process. We deal with crime prevention. As you know, crime and violence is multifaceted. It has many different actors, many different players, many different sectors. We do not treat with crime control, or crime suppression, which we see as the work of the security forces. We think that crime prevention is critical to the development of Jamaica, to treating with crime and violence. And crime prevention starts before a child is born.
Yes.
And it goes way on into adulthood. We have not yet, and the chairman spoke about it, recognized fully the importance or the knowledge. We do not know how important crime prevention is, in that we have to treat with it in a sustained, multifaceted manner. In a nutshell, no ministry should get a budget passed each fiscal year without showing the country where in that budget is the allocation for activities to treat with crime prevention. Because it is so multifaceted, it touches on every sector. Every sector has a role to play. And let me repeat, no budget should be approved unless we can see where that sector, what that sector is doing. We welcome the idea of an oversight or a commission, because what we have observed is that the lack of collaboration among the sectors is one of the handicaps. It is something which causes waste, inefficiency, lack of adequate outcomes. And until the government can have a robust, very robust mechanism, institutional arrangement to ensure that there's collaboration between education, health, national security, all of these sectors working in their own way, but at the same time, designing together, implementing together, evaluating together. Until we get that, we will be groping in the dark to a large extent.
And that's it for coverage of the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
On the spread today, details on the TEF Summer Internship Program. We see how today's young people are gaining work experience while being paid. Also between the pages, a reflection on the life of one of our national heroes who fought for our freedom, Samuel Sharp, as we gear up for Emancipation Day. Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us. There's much to know and learn.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, July 30. Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter says the signing of the Foreign Exchange Global Code by key financial market stakeholders represents a timely and important step in advancing the country's economic development. The code provides a common set of guidelines for all authorized foreign exchange trading entities developed by the Bank for International Settlements, BIS. It was signed on Monday by the Jamaica Bankers Association and the Cambio Association of Jamaica.
This historic signing reflects our aims for Jamaica to have a robust, fair, liquid, open, and transparent market for foreign exchange.
According to Mr. Winter, the code promotes the integrity, transparency, and effective functioning of the foreign exchange market, which is vital to the global financial system. By their signing, financial institutions have committed to upholding the 6 leading principles of ethics, governance, execution, information sharing, risk management and compliance, and the confirmation and settlement process. The code's adoption is among the foreign exchange market reforms initiated by the Central Bank in 2017 to enhance the efficiency and transparency of Jamaica's financial market. Both Houses of Parliament have now approved a 90-day extension of the states of public emergency in St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover until October 28. Following the House of Representatives' lead, the Senate gave assent on Friday. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Pernell Charles Jr., piloted the motion in the upper house. He said the enhanced security measures had been yielding positive outcomes across the parishes, including a high decline in murders and shootings.
This is the most effective measure that has been utilized to treat with murders in our country ever before as it has been operating. Now, we have learned many lessons, and we have improved the way that the security forces have operated and guided the policy decisions and revisions of how we execute these states of emergencies. And cumulatively, all of these have added value to the effectiveness of these measures.
The SOEs were declared in the parishes by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on April 30. Still in the Senate, the Information and Communications Technology Authority Act was also approved on Friday with one amendment. The bill seeks to improve the use of technology across government ministries through the establishment of the Information and Communications Technology ICT Authority. This body will consolidate the functions of eGov Jamaica and the Office of the Chief Information Officer.
The mandate of the authority will be to streamline ICT spend, to drive efficiency, to reduce the unnecessary bureaucracy, and to improve service delivery across and within public bodies, thus changing the way citizens interact with the government and vice versa.
The Senate's single amendment to the legislation calls for the appointment of a 9-member board to the ICT Authority. Persons in Western Jamaica will experience their own Grand Gala event on Independence Day at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex in Montego Bay. News of the staging was revealed by Culture and Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange at a recent JIS think tank.
For Western Jamaica, it's the first time that they will have an Independence Village that is built out almost similar to the Independence Village in Kingston. They will have a gala event, which also is a presentation almost similar to the one in Kingston, where they will have over 200 dancers and other participants on the field at Catherine Hall.
According to Minister Grange, island-wide activities are scheduled to celebrate our independence. Details can be viewed at jcdc.gov.jm. It includes the Independence Village, which opens on August 1 in Kingston and culminates with fireworks on August 6. And finally, Raldine Dyer is the winner of the 2019 JCDC Festival Song Competition with his song Big Up Jamaica. Raldine received a combined $2.6 million for winning and songwriting, as well as for Best Performance and Best Vocalist. The finals took place on Saturday at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. Second place went to Alera Peria with her song Queen Jamaica. Jerome Smith walked away with third place for his song Embassy Appointment. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, join us in helping to make Jamaica a safer place for all. Log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Up next, the latest happenings out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister signs tar disposal MOU with Carb Cement towards corporate area Hope projects and delivers 37 housing solutions in St. Catherine. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. The news in detail next. At the start of the work week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Carb Cement Company Limited. The agreement will see the company disposing of 1.5 to 2 million tars from the Riverton City landfill. Tars will be incinerated in a managed process in a kiln to provide some form of energy. The pilot project, which will run for the next 40 days, has the National Solid Waste Management Authority supplying Carb Cement with 5 truckloads of tars per day. According to the Prime Minister, the Ministries of Economic Growth and Local Government will assume the cost of unloading the tars, while Carb Cement will cover the cost of offloading.
After 40 days, we will have a better understanding of how this logistics and cost structure works, and then we will proceed with a more long-term memorandum of understanding, probably agreement contract in place.
Before the signing, Mr. Holness held a courtesy call with executives of Carb Cement. Outgoing General Manager Peter Donkersloot Ponce introduced the Prime Minister to incoming General Manager Yago Castro Itzagire. Mr. Itzagire assumes leadership of the region's leading cement company on August 1. On Wednesday, the Prime Minister extended congratulations to the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland's new Prime Minister Boris Johnson. In a congratulatory letter, Mr. Holness wished Mr. Johnson's government wisdom, vision, and courage to achieve development, prosperity, and security. He also committed Jamaica to continuing its close collaboration with the country on critical issues such as climate change, human rights, and justice.
I'm very satisfied and I'm very happy to see the program come to this point where we can now say we have tested it, it has worked, and we are now going to bring the program to the institutional phase where it will be a constant feature of the development of Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he toured Hope projects in the corporate area last Wednesday. Mr. Holness said the $1 billion housing component of the program would be rolled out shortly as the administrative elements had been completed. He said the opportunities and production aspects were also being developed. Launched in 2017, Hope targets unattached 18 to 24-year-olds and has already benefited 28,000 youth. An additional 6,000 are being engaged through the program. By Thursday, the Prime Minister was sharing Jamaica's perspectives on the maritime space at the 25th anniversary session of the International Seabed Authority. As the seat of the authority, Mr. Holness said Jamaica was far advanced with legislation to comply with all the relevant international rules and best environmental practices in seabed exploration. The pledge follows the government's recent agreement with Blue Minerals Jamaica Limited. Under that agreement, an application will be made to the International Seabed Authority for an exploration license for polymetallic nodules in international waters.
We are encouraged with the work that is being undertaken on the enterprise. The operationalization of the enterprise will present developing countries with much needed opportunities for participating in deep seabed mining.
Thursday also saw Prime Minister Holness at Seawood Primary and Junior High School. He was there to officially open the institution's new playground ahead of the upcoming academic year. Mr. Holness used the opening to pledge support for the purchase of a school bus.
I'm going to make a contribution through the CDF as Member of Parliament to your school bus fund, and then I'm going to make a contribution from my own foundation, Positive Jamaica Foundation, towards your school bus. Anyone else who is moved by that, please join me.
And on Friday, the Prime Minister was at Mary's Field in St. Catherine to hand over housing solutions. The newly built Spanish Ridge scheme is a National Housing Trust development consisting of 37 2- and 1-bedroom units and 7 serviced lots. The 2-bedroom units will sell for $12 million each, while a bedroom unit is to cost $12 million. Among the serviced lots, 4 premium ones cost $3.7 million each, while 3 standard lots are going for $2.8 million. Mr. Holness told the gathering that the NHT had started or completed 11,198 housing solutions since 2017. He added that the agency would be starting 2,689 more housing units by next month.
The NHT is following the mandate that they have been given, which is build house, build house, build house, and don't stop build house.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Are you a small to medium-sized tourism enterprise? Borrow up to $25 million at an interest rate of 5%. You can use the funding to develop and maintain your infrastructure, upgrade or increase your capacity, enhance and expand your attraction, tour or event, and purchase raw material. Call the Exim Bank and ask about the Tourism SMTE loan. Their numbers are 876-630-1400 or 876-618-5889. Tap into the over $3 billion earned yearly through tourism with a SMTE loan.
The summer holiday is not all about beach and partying. For many young people, it's an opportunity to gain valuable work experience while being off from school. The Tourism Enhancement Fund is one of several entities helping to fulfill this desire of the next generation of workers. See now how young people across the country are using their summer wisely.
My name is Monique Marbier. I am a beneficiary of the Tourism Enhancement Fund Summer Internship Program.
I'm Shamar Clark, and I'm a beneficiary of the TEF Summer Internship Program. I'm now employed to Sagicor as a financial advisor. I think it's an excellent program that has assisted me to get to where I'm at right now.
For more than a decade, hundreds of future leaders have been receiving valuable work experience through the Tourism Enhancement Fund Summer Internship Program.
The TEF Summer Internship Program is designed to provide an opportunity for our young Jamaicans to get exposure to tourism in the first instance, but as we've expanded it over the years, we provide them to exposure just to being in the working world, preferably in the service industry, where they can see the opportunities that tourism provides as far as a career opportunity is concerned. We believe that It helps in multiple ways. One, it provides an income for our young people. Two, it gives them that exposure. And three, it benefits the actual corporations and hotels and businesses that will have the extra hand and expertise during the summer months.
Each year, between January and March, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, issues a call for students to apply for the internship positions. The fund partners with approximately 100 companies island-wide. Each intern works for a period of 3 weeks during the summer. The interns are paid by the fund up to $10,000 per week. It all started with an idea to provide upper secondary level and tertiary students with the skills to function well in the workplace.
We started in 2007 and we started with 80 students.
Since then, graduates of the internship program have transitioned to permanent posts in diverse occupations. Several of them are excelling in their careers, holding top-ranking positions. But they have not forgotten where it started.
What was surprising for me, I thought that I was going to work in the office, but when I went there, they told me that based on what I did at school, they would be sending me to a hotel to work. So I went to the Courtly Hotel and Suites as a part of the program. It was actually very good. When I went to Courtly, within like 3 weeks of being there, they said they liked my demeanor, so they wanted me to spend the whole summer. They asked me to stay on permanently. So I worked there on Sundays, and if they had like special functions, they asked me to come as well. When I had completed university, I told them that I was ready to work full-time, so they sent me to the Knutsford Court Hotel as a trainee food and beverage supervisor. Me actually working at Tourism Enhancement Fund, it gave me a big start to actually like go into the industry.
This was literally my first experience, yes, as a job. And so going in it, I was like, okay, let's see how I can grow from this experience. And trust me, I've become so confident. It is not even funny. I've become so bolder. I was immediately placed at the front line. I was immediately given the responsibility of doing different tasks that their administrators were already doing. At the end of the program, when they realized that I was doing a great job at it, they asked if it is that I was available to work full-time. I am responsible for the administrative persons.
I started working at Hartrust at about 18, 19. I believe it was a summer, so I was almost going to be 19. So I walked in and I was thrusted into a project. Started to do some of the reconciliation throughout the 6 weeks. Even after the 6-week program had finished, Hartrust kept me on. So right now, I'm one of the top insurance professionals in the country. Possibly if I hadn't been a part of the program, it wouldn't have been the same.
The current batch of interns are hoping to excel as well, to uphold with high standard the TEF brand and to achieve their career goals.
The Tourism Enhancement Fund has partnered with Eden Gardens over the years, and they have just had a great relationship because we are a group of companies. There's also Environmental Health Foundation. They have an intern. There's also in Medicanja, we have the interns doing sales calls, they're doing graphic arts, they're doing a lot of administrative work. We also have someone working in the accounts department, acting as an accounting clerk, and she did such a great job that she actually started full-time here with us as soon as her TEF tenure had ended. There's also Eden Gardens, the front desk. So right now we have an intern answering the phone calls, helping to coordinate the events, just being that customer service person. This is my first year having interns from TEF in any job that I've been in, and they have been excellent. I mean, each student has just been phenomenal. The caliber that TEF brings on definitely speak volume.
Being placed in the Medicanja department has really helped me with my people skills. I've been having a lot of experience with marketing, customer service.
Since being here, I have done marketing, I've done graphics, I've done finances, I have done the whole works. So I've developed new skills actually.
Past and current interns have singled out the mandatory orientation workshop prior to being placed within the workplace as one of the main reasons why they stand out from other summer workers.
Orientation takes them through how to handle customers,
how to deal with telephone. We teach them how to do teamwork, how to work together as a team. They are taught how to dress, and more importantly, how to win the hearts of the employers.
TEF interns are regarded as being professional. As I said, that was the mantra of it. So when you're going into the organization, they're looking at you like, all right, this is a creme de la creme, this is the cream of the crop.
The handouts that were given to you, when I got home, I immediately read through, and so I got a little bit more knowledge as to what is expected of me.
We have seen where our numbers of permanent employment have been growing each year. And that tells me that what we are offering them, what we're saying to them, is really impacting.
For the most part, and still in our culture, most persons grow up not necessarily being directed into tourism careers. You know, if there's a child in the community that's really brilliant, good at science, for instance, they usually steer them into becoming a doctor or an engineer, not necessarily a tourism-related expert. Yet, tourism is the #1 industry, and as I said, it's employing over 120,000 Jamaicans. And what we find in the industry too is that a lot of times when you get to the top of the ladder, a lot of those expertise are then hired in from overseas, you see, and it's an unfortunate situation that needs to be corrected. We're hoping that this summer internship program will yield many more interested tertiary educated students to look at tourism as a valid career option.
Protect Jamaica, plant your grass. Help us become more resilient to climate change impacts. Protect Jamaica, plant a tree. It improves the island's national biodiversity. Trees may be fruit, ornamental, or timber, but must be native or suitable to the area's natural landscape. Join the Jamaica Million Tree campaign and help to plant 1 million trees by June 30, 2019. This is a call to action by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
Summer school, swimming, karate, you know, things that keep them occupied like that.
It's not really me keeping them occupied, it's mostly the mother. I have work, so I'm out, she's there, so she mostly has them. Ball field sometimes, in the evening mostly the ball field, but during the day, you know, that water and so forth, so mostly around moist place and cool place.
I come up with some games, and then we have the art and craft days, and then the mother is keeping like a, we call it now, home VBS. So she form a kit and let them explore, give them a lot of things and come up with some game by themselves.
Books, keep them cool and everything. That's it.
I carry out to beach and I make sure have fun for the holiday.
Buy books and video game and let them watch it.
I give her gadgets, sometimes play school with her.
He's going to summer school and stadium sports summer camp.
We are 2 days shy of our emancipation anniversary, a day on which we reflect on the role of freedom fighters. Next, a tribute to the great man, Samuel Daddy Sharp.
Think on this. How would you feel if Sunday is your regular rest day off from work, but just because Christmas Day falls on that day, your boss unilaterally decides you do not deserve an extra day of rest? Added to that, the previous Christmas you were entitled to 3 days off during the season, but months before this particular holiday, a law was passed giving only 2 days. This is the kind of injustice and ill treatment that was meted out to Samuel Sharp. Up to 1830, the enslaved were allowed 3 days holiday at Christmas. In February 1831, the House of Assembly passed a law reducing Christmas holidays from 3 to 2, Christmas and Boxing Day only. Since Christmas Day 1831 fell on Sunday, a rest day, Sharp believed that they were entitled to the following Tuesday. A strike ensued. The resistance to work ballooned into what history records as the Christmas Rebellion, the ill-fated event that helped pave the way to freedom. Born about 1780, Sam Sharp was the slave of an English lawyer in Montego Bay, St. James. Sharp was the lay deacon of the Birchall Baptist Church and became a leader in the congregation. Samuel, Sam, Daddy Sharp, saw the injustices of slavery and inspired his fellow brothers and sisters to participate in Jamaica's first strike action. There were no labor laws at that time that spoke to the rights or privileges of slaves. Sharp may be considered a forerunner to the labor movement as he fought for the rights of his fellow workers. For this, Samuel Sharp was hanged on May 23, 1832. But as he said,
"I would rather die upon yonder gallows than live in slavery."
In 1834, the Abolition Bill was passed by the British Parliament, and in 1838, slavery was abolished.
Raldine Loaded Eagle Dyer is the 2019 Jamaica Festival song winner. His winning entry, Big Up Jamaica, will become the theme song for Jamaica's 57th anniversary of independence. Dyer took home the coveted title at the 2019 Jamaica Festival Song Competition's grand final on Saturday night. Come, let's sing along to this year's independence theme. Watch this. The magazine closes for today, but please visit our social media pages. We are just a click away. You may also download our app to be notified of our latest stories and features. Don't forget to give us a like or leave a comment on our pages. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
The Caribbean Academy of Sciences Jamaica, CASJ, hosted their 21st General Meeting and Conference at the University of the West Indies, Mona. Business Access TV has all the highlights, so stay tuned.
As the university goes through its 70th year, 70 years of service, 70 years of excellence, we're at the vanguard of educational excellence. And we extend heartfelt congratulations to our partners at CAS and CASJ as they commemorate their anniversaries and move forward. The theme selected by CAS this year is very befitting: science, technology, and innovation, vehicles for a knowledge-based economy. This collaboration amongst CAS, CASJ, and UWI yields an investment in science, technology, and innovation fostered by a robust research development portfolio. It is essential as a precursor to the knowledge-based economy. Science and technology, as well as innovation, has now formed a part of the university's strategic plan. As you may know, our strategic plan is based on access, alignment, and agility. Within access, AC4, which is to increase the quality, quantity, and impact of research, innovation, and publication, feeds directly into this goal. We therefore are trying to, within the University of the West Indies, increase all that we do, not just in quality and quantity, but impact, since that which creates impact may not yet be published, but be impactful in a decision-making process for a country. This conference will facilitate a forum for the cross-pollination among different research fields. We will elucidate and discuss innovative theories, frameworks, methodologies, tools, and applications which may be of use in enhancing the quality of human life and contribute effectively to sustainable economic development. It is our hope that you will take this knowledge into your public and private setting, into your institutions, your agencies, your ministries, so that the dialogue may continue. And with the University of the West Indies being at the lead, we would like to offer ourselves to be that research engine for entities who would like research and development done. The substance of the policies which will come from our research continue to emulate, and I invite you to our next research days, which will be in February, where you can see the research from this faculty, science and technology, on display as it relates to policies. Last year we did medical sciences. This year we're doing science and technology. To all our colleagues at CAS and CASJ, I say welcome, especially those who are visiting for the first time, and look forward to a partnership which we think is essential and critical to the nexus in our regional economic venture and development. I welcome you all and look forward to a productive 4 days.
As a reaffirmation of the essential right of universal access to science in the framework of the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Established by UNESCO in 2001, the World Science Day for Peace and Development highlights the importance role of science in society and the need to engage the wider public on emerging issues relevant to science. As the Director General of UNESCO, Madame Audrey Azoulay, indicated, the astonishing progress made by science in recent decades has changed our lives. Science and its countless applications now condition all aspects of human life. The resulting innovations are an opportunity for the development of our sciences. They are improving our well-being, facilitating daily life, and pushing back borders that seemed immutable in the fields of medicine, transportation, communication, and knowledge sharing. They are an engine of growth and wealth. UNESCO recognizes that sciences, technology, and innovation, STI, provide key answers to build peace and bolster sustainable development, and therefore, we need more integrated science to strengthen water management, to ensure the sustainable use of the ocean, to protect ecosystems and biodiversity, to tackle climate change and disasters, and to foster innovation. This is why Sciences, Technology and Innovation, STI, stands at the heart of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Paris Agreement on Climate Change. In this spirit, UNESCO has developed a unique approach to promote global scientific cooperation between and within societies, combining global sustainability and local actions and knowledge with focus on gender equality. In this respect, UNESCO is pleased to support the forum designed by the Caribbean Academy of Science Jamaica chapter on cracking the code to gender disparities in creating knowledge-based economy, increasing female participation in STEM, in which the reality of gender parity in STEM with special reference to the Caribbean will be examined. On the other hand, today, as the complexity of the world's issues goes beyond the framework of a single discipline, UNESCO has made transdisciplinarity the cornerstone of its work for sustainability, building networks with multiple stakeholders, and promoting South-South and North-South-South cooperation to foster sciences, technology, and innovation, STI, for sustainable development and to encourage mutual understanding and peace.
Our objective is to promote science and also instill science culture in the society, and because science culture presently in society is very, very low, and the government has to understand that without science and technology and innovations, the economy cannot grow. Technology we are developing quite rapidly in terms of the information technology and all this, but what is needed is the transfer of the technological aspects, high technological aspects into the society, and that has to be brought by the young scientists who are engaged in those kind of scientific endeavor. And also we need government to support this kind of activities.
At the opening ceremony, one of the points that really stood out for me was the fact that the different disciplines seem to, there's a little disparity. So humanities, we need our space, and scientists need their space. And besides my personal research, I'm also a facilitator at the Shell STEM program in Trinidad. And one of the things I do in my presentations is that I like to introduce the fact to students that STEM you can do, the world is open to you in terms of opportunities. So for instance, if you like art, you can become a biological illustrator. If you love journalism, you can be a science journalist. The world is just open, and I really wish that this conference, a lot of people will see that. It's not scientists by themselves. It's everybody. We can all benefit in some way from science. It's nothing to be scared of.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's Season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
It has become a bit of a cliche to state that science and technology are key drivers of economic growth in the 21st century. Many researchers have pointed to the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century and the scientific revolution of the 20th century as setting the conditions that have given rise to today's global knowledge-based creative economy. Nowhere is the impact of science and technology on our lives more obvious than in the rapid innovations in communications and computing technologies, leading to more countries being able to participate more fully in the global economy. Today, new technologies are transforming and expanding many economies in the same way that earlier industrial and technological advances changed the course of history. Indeed, a growing percentage of wealth in the world's largest economies is created by knowledge-based industries that rely heavily on human capital and technological innovation. We are, of course, challenged by the question, what exactly is this knowledge-based economy? The World Bank and the OECD have defined it as an economy where knowledge is created, acquired, transmitted, and used effectively and creatively by organizations, enterprises, individuals, and communities to develop groundbreaking ideas and models. One example, often cited, of an economy that was rapidly transformed by an embrace of science and technology is that of South Korea. Its rapid progress in the knowledge and information revolution was attributed, to a large extent, to its widespread internet usage. The government recognized very early the need for the country to get connected to the web, and in the late 1990s invested heavily in broadband infrastructure. Privatization and deregulation in the telecom sector also led to South Korea being amongst the most wired nations in the world, with over 80% of households hooked up to broadband. Well, what of us here in the Caribbean? If we are to see any significant movement in our economic development as knowledge-based economies, a number of things will have to be addressed, including economic and institutional infrastructure, information infrastructure, and education. The government of Jamaica has recognized this and has committed to investing more in STEM education. In fact, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM programs in schools remain one of high priority for the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. Just by way of background, the STEM initiative was started in a formal and concerted way within the ministry in May 2014 and has continued under the current administration. The ministry established a STEM steering committee to provide oversight to the work of the STEM team, as well as the STEM technical committee that is driving the research and training component of the initiative. Under the new administration, the following have been done. Steering committee meeting would have been held in September 2016. New members invited to join the STEM committee. Just over $200 million have been budgeted to fund STEM and some non-STEM schools for the procurement of STEM-related equipment and material. The following tasks have been undertaken and are either complete or near completion. The first being a STEM concept paper has been completed and ratified by the STEM steering committee. And that, of course, sets out the thrust, the undergirding thrust of what it is that the ministry is embarked on. Secondly, work on a list of criteria for certification of STEM institutions for the academic year started in 2016 and is now about 90% complete. Thirdly, the Sydney Pagan Agricultural School, and in terms of the geography and locale, that's down in St. Elizabeth, northeast St. Elizabeth to be precise. So the Sydney Pagan Agricultural School has been transformed into a STEM academy. This was initiated in September 2014 with some 100 students at grade 7 and approximately $20 million having been spent on infrastructure to include upgrading of classrooms and laboratories. Equipment and material for the science program are being provided to enhance the project-based learning in accordance with STEM methodology. Recruitment of additional staff has been done, and extensive training of the academic and other staff members done to build their capacity. So upskilling would be an important part of this entire initiative.
I am working in the area of materials chemistry, and a considerable amount of my research is about developing new materials for renewable energy technologies. I also do, again, an extensive amount of work in catalytic chemistry, that's developing new catalysts for key industrial processes. I think the area of renewable energy technologies is of key importance for the whole world, but of course for the Caribbean nations. I think, for instance, there is clearly great scope in the Caribbean for greater deployment of solar energy technologies, but maybe other energy technologies as well. We need to move away from the current dependence on fossil fuels. We need, for instance, or perhaps in particular, to attract high-quality students into the STEM field if we're going to have vigorous research community. That is a challenge. It's a challenge for the scientific community to present the work they're doing in an accessible way, particularly to young people, so that it seems an attractive area and an attractive career. It's a challenge for government as well to ensure that the facilities for high-quality STEM education are receive high priority.
Your presentation was entitled Rethinking STEM, Higher Education in the 21st Century. Highlight the main points of your presentation.
The main points that I made are, first of all, that today's students are facing a very different world than the ones that I grew up in. Today's STEM fields are really critical for the jobs of the future. So we need more students who are competent in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and who can apply their understanding of those fields to practical problems, producing new solutions to problems that humanity faces. What I stressed in my presentation is that the way we teach students is pivotal for increasing and sustaining their interest in STEM. That's important for future STEM professionals, but it's also important for the citizenry in general to understand what science and technology and engineering and mathematics are and why they're important for society. So we need to deal with education from general level all the way to the highly professional level. And I also stressed very much in my presentation that the way we teach, the way we deal with our learners in a university is very important. The old way was lecturing, that is talking at the students, and evidence now shows that that's not a good way to learn. What I stress is the importance of what we call active learning. This is where students engage with each other, they discuss in real time in class the issues that are being presented to them, they learn to apply their knowledge on the spot, they learn to work in groups because that's critically important for the future. Employers want teamwork. They don't want solo workers. They want nimble, innovative thinkers, and that the way to get them is to have them talk to each other and energize each other and discover how the knowledge that they're learning can be used. Scientific research and the companion of that, which is engineering, to apply knowledge for technological advancement, this is crucially important for the economies of nations going forward into what we call the fourth industrial revolution, where data science and cyber science and electronic digital communications, all of these things that didn't exist in the 20th century are now pivotal going forward. And any country that sustains interest in those fields and equips students with the tools to be innovators, to be producers of new knowledge, that's going to fuel the economy of that country. So there's no going back. We're not going back away from this highly technological future. So we want to prepare kids to be ready for it.
We're an investment management company. We're a licensed securities dealer.
and we trade and invest in mainly in US dollar denominated securities that trade on the global market, and mainly fixed income securities, bonds and so on. Those are the main products that we offer for our clients. And our clients are mainly people looking for medium to long-term investments that will retain their value and give them a good return. It's really great to bring scientists together here in Jamaica from all across the Caribbean and to spend 3 or 4 days exchanging ideas, papers, etc. We're very happy. We have a very good relationship with the university. We are the investment house of choice for the discerning investors, the people who are looking for medium to long-term returns, people investing for their pensions, any sort of medium to long-term investment. We think we offer very good products and services in that regard.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art, I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
So we're here with Kiara Cosmetics, a wellness and beauty company that specializes in all natural products that are designed to enhance your beauty naturally. And we utilize Jamaican materials, indigenous Jamaican plant extracts and essential oils to bring out that key properties that will give you what you need to help take care of your skin, hair and nails. So Kiara Cosmetics, we formulate unique products, and our products are really geared towards our population, because what you find on our markets is flooded with imported products that we're developing European markets or with persons with different physiological profile than we have. So Kiara Cosmetics products are specially designed, expertly formulated, taking all these things in mind. So when you utilize our products, you actually get the benefits that you wanted and what the products were intended for. Cosmetics is a science. It's a very intense science. As a matter of fact, it's a very specialized area that you have to study and be trained in. When you know your ingredients, know how they function, and not just how they function as individual ingredients, but in combination with each other, is very essential, and that's what science does when you're talking about cosmetic chemistry. So the response has been good, especially from the audience as well. A lot of persons coming in and having that confidence, knowing that the products were developed by a chemist. It actually helps, and knowing that I'm UWI bred, that also goes a long way. So it has been phenomenal. So our products are available right across Jamaica. They're also available in the US. We ship to the US. We actually keep inventory in New York. So you can order online at www.kiaracosmetics.com. You can follow us on Instagram as well as on Facebook, where you can keep up to date with what is happening. We also have a blog on our website that is teaching persons general knowledge about taking care of their hair, skin and nails, because what we really believe in is not just beauty, but your natural beauty and enhancing that natural beauty. We all have issues. We all have something or another that we are not so confident about, and that's what Kiara Cosmetics is about. How do you build that confidence without putting on too much, without changing who you are? So what we're doing is enhancing your natural beauty.
Well, Conrad Douglas and Associates and its subsidiary Estec are the pioneering companies in the Caribbean, Jamaica, for environmental management and project development and feasibility analysis. Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited was established 33 years ago, so we're heading into our 34th year. ESTEC, which is a subsidiary, was established 23 years ago, so that's 24 years in the industry. We have done significant work in Jamaica in all industry stores in bauxite, and we have also worked internationally in a number of industries within the Caribbean also, so our experience is very international. Presently, we're very active also now in the environmental management and project development phase, and we are integrally now into the energy sector transformation with natural gas, where we are doing the environmental management for New Fortress Energy, who is bringing natural gas to a number of entities within the Jamaican economy. So this speaks very well for the industry, because it now opens up these companies to the need for significant and proper environmental management and planning to ensure that we in Jamaica are protecting our natural resources while we advance the economy. And it can be done, and that is what we have been doing for the last 34 years. We have been developing projects, implementing them, and ensuring that the environment is protected. We are engaged in sustainable development at its highest level. CAS is the Caribbean Academy of Sciences, and now we are premier sponsors for this event. And it is a very good partnership because we are in the business of science and technology and information. And this year's theme of using science and technology as a vehicle for development is well within our mantra and our, what we believe should be the guiding vehicle for development: science, technology, and information.
Showcase Jamaica Tours is a premier tour company that offers guided tours all across the island of Jamaica. We pride ourselves in the quality of our tour guides. People spend a lot of money to come to Jamaica, so we want to know they get value for their money. They feel at the end of the tour that they have really got value for the money that they have spent. Our tours tend to be more personalized, so we are less of the big bus operation and smaller personalized tours, so we can coin any tour to suit the needs or the interests of different people. We do night tours. We take them to dinner, we take them dancing, concerts, any kind of concert. I was invited to be the tour operator of choice for the conference delegates, so that they could get a chance to see something of Jamaica, because most times people come and it's an airport, a conference room, hotel room, and then they're back to the airport. So this time they're giving them a chance to have a little local experience and to see a little of what Jamaica has to offer, and we have a lot to offer. I just invite anybody who is a visitor to the island, and even if you're a local and you haven't seen much of the island, to come and join one of our experiences. You can contact us via telephone 876-817-3366, or we can be reached by email at showcasejamaicatours@yahoo.com. And of course, we have a website where you will see a number of tours being offered, and that's www.showcasejamaicatours.com.
That was CASJ's 21st General Meeting and Conference held at the UWI Mona. Thanks for tuning in to Business Access TV, serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
JAMPRO aims to increase the export of non-traditional products and of course support the development of Jamaican MSMEs. To that end, they've partnered with the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to launch the third installment of Export Max. I'm Theodore Henry for Business Access TV. Stay with us.
It is good to be here, and it's a pleasure joining you for the launch of the third iteration of this program. This morning's event is a fitting tribute to the industry players and signals a great promise for the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and the importance that has been placed on export diversification. This launch seeks to build on the success of Exports Max 1 and 2, which together recorded over $2.2 billion in sales. Indeed, its previous success sets the stage for the implementation of this third iteration, which we are now undertaking on a much larger scale. Let me take this opportunity to commend the JAMPRO on conceptualizing and taking us this far with this program. And let's welcome our new Export Max partners, the Jamaica Business Development Corporation and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. With their strengths, we'll be joining forces to improve and efficiently manage and implement the program. And I'd like to thank our sponsors and future participants. You have signed up for a game-changing program that will have national impact. Jamaica has strong export potential and growing export capacity. The imperative for achieving greater export performance and thus realizing export-led growth and global competitiveness in our exports as part of the export strategy is therefore of extreme importance as we strive for national prosperity and wealth creation. In the globalized economy, it is critical that Jamaica becomes highly organized in order to be fully integrated into the world economy in a manner that allows us to elevate our position on the global value chain and supply chains. Jamaica has been standing still for too long. Standing still while our trading partners have been taking steps to implement best practices for business and trade-friendly environments. This ministry, therefore, through its agencies, is seeking to attain greater diversification in the export industry by achieving higher value addition in priority tech sectors, increasing the value of non-traditional export of goods through increased volume and higher value addition, increasing the contribution of services exports as a percentage of our overall exports, including our creative industries, and increasing penetration in existing markets and accessing new and emerging markets. Let me add to that the specifics, some specifics which I want you to implant in your minds. There are 3 distinct underdeveloped markets. Let me just mention what those 3 are. The tourism industry. Too much of the fresh and processed foods that they consume are coming in on the planes with the tourists. And we have the capacity to supply them. Second, CARICOM. 16 countries in CARICOM. All of them are net importers of food, fresh and processed. Yet, we export precious little to CARICOM, and we have the privilege of exporting it duty-free. And what's the third significant market? The Jamaican diaspora. In Canada, the United States, and England, the market is as big as Jamaica. Somebody from London told me recently that because they cannot get what they want in Jamaica, they import the stuff from Africa and slap a Jamaican label on it. Castor oil, by the way. A lot of castor oil that is now being sold internationally with the Jamaica label on it. The raw material is not from Jamaica. Unacceptable. So as government, we are committed to promoting brand Jamaica to the world, identifying new trade and investment opportunities in order to spur economic growth. My ministry will continue to work with critical stakeholders to enable them to capitalize on opportunities in the export market, as more than ever, greater focus must be placed on growing our economy through exports. One of the things that the ministry is committed to doing is changing the soft infrastructure that will support the growth of trading across borders. To this end, a few weeks ago, we launched a trade facilitation portal that will house the information about all the various processes that underpin trading across our borders. It is our vision that the trade information portal will be the central source of information that will ensure that if someone is an exporter, or even if they are dreaming about being an exporter, they need only to visit this one place that will provide them with all the knowledge they need to navigate the trading process. On the heels of this, we are also excited about the progress that we are making in implementing a single trade electronic window for the government, which will see all the various government processes integrated into a single online system that will allow for all trade-related transactions to be done online, supported by a robust risk management system to protect the country's borders and its reputation overseas. And so ExportMax is only one more prong in the government's network of activities that will allow for the framework for each and every exporter to experience success, and ultimately for us to achieve economic growth and prosperity in Jamaica.
Oh, what kind of ESN paper this?
I'm a birth certificate.
You what?
Birth certificate.
Hold on. Let me help you.
Where are you?
Me apply for your birth certificate online on the RGD website. You lucky things improve and get easy now. This didn't have any security feature. How your granny could have write this?
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
So, welcome. So let me start out by asking Dan, ExportMax, I know ExportMax started within Jampro. Why ExportMax 3 and what makes it different this time around?
Okay, thanks Claude, and good morning ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to be here at the launch of ExportMax 3. Why are we doing ExportMax 3? It's actually one of the programs that I'm proudest of in my time at Jampro. I think that, as the minister said, export is one of our critical pieces, is critical in our lifeblood. It's in our DNA. We have to export. We're a small island nation. We have tremendous products. We need to take them to the world in a more organized, systematic way where we respect standards, we understand the adaptability of our products to market demands, where we understand the markets that we are trying to penetrate. ExportMax is that program. The results that we got out of ExportMax 1 and 2 show what a deliberate program can do, where you start by diagnosing what does the product need to be adapted to market demand, what evolution needs to go on in the company itself. So it's not just the product, but it's also the management that must have the right mindset to penetrate international markets. So we're identifying that demand, identifying the market trends, helping the companies to adapt their products, and that mentorship, which we brought on in Export Max 2, is a critical component, because the ones who are successful must help the ones who have not started yet or who have not yet been successful. So that was the innovation of Export Max 2. And what we decided in Export Max 3 is that to more than double the number of companies in the program, we really couldn't do it alone anymore, because Export Max is a really labor-intensive and brain-intensive project. It needs a lot of time spent hand-holding companies, explaining export to them, helping their management to be ready. So we really needed the help of our partners, and we're really, really proud and excited and energized that we have two such fantastic partners, as well as the other sponsors who have come on board, because we need more expertise, we need more hands on deck. Export is not easy. Standards in the international market are constantly becoming more critical, more difficult. So we needed partners on board who could help us to interpret some of the issues on the international market, some of the standards. You see Bureau of Standards is on board, and also to help galvanize those exporters to greater effort and to greater understanding. And then we needed the business development side that JBUC can bring to really help companies to develop their business plans, develop their loan applications, to become more formalized, develop their bookkeeping acumen. We think this is one of the most important programs that JAMPRO and the country have ever created, because we think that this is an integrated way of taking our MSMEs the next step forward. We are very excited, and we just want to have more participation from the MSME community, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's when you start on that journey of trying to understand how do I get from point A to point B that you start to realize what it is you don't know and how and where you can find help. So really this is a plea to and a stimulus and an encouragement and almost a demand of the SME sector listening to us today. You need to get on board, because this program can change your life professionally and change your export horizons.
Okay. Valerie, you decided without hesitation, came on board. Why did you see training and capacity building as such important components for exporters?
Our logo speaks for what we do, which is business development in the fulsomeness of it, and how can we help you. So we know for sure that capacity building is even beyond that thing called training. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty of the companies, the enterprises, looking at the concept, if it makes sense, whether local or external market, putting the proper structures in place, and as Dan says, formalizing the business. It means governance have to be in place. You have to know your numbers to know what stories are coming out. Worst, if you're thinking of exporting, you have to be really secure in moving forward. So we have been spending a lot of time with our client group preparing them for the market, because for us, global market is right here in Jamaica. So standards must be in place. Governance must be in place. And you must be thinking business. And I agree with Dan, we have to get over that hump of doing a little thing until some big job comes along, because it's not going to come along. So it means that we have to be innovative and we have to be on target for moving forward. We're going to be looking, as we said, as we had agreed, at all the innovative industries that have the possibilities for export. So food, niche markets, high quality, value-added products, non-food, services, certainly the technology-based industries, and the creative industries in all aspects have to be part of that big umbrella. Our mandate is to help them.
Right.
So even if they come and they're not ready for Export Max, it doesn't mean that they can't be in the passageway.
Okay.
So they need not hesitate. They need to come forward. If they're not in that lane, it means you're going to prepare them for whatever is appropriate. So there is no reason to sit and wonder if. You need to come forward and let us work together and see which lane you are really in. And if you happen to move into this fast track, no, that's wonderful. If not, you're on the way to preparation. Because we must export. Dan keeps saying, export or that. I think we have been in coma because we're waiting to die.
When we look at the program, or we look at life, we always like to say, nobody born big. We all are a product of training, exposure, and experience. And you almost need all three in the right combination to be successful. So in the area of mentorship and advocacy, I think JMEA coming on board, which will have a portfolio of businesses that are already exporting, play a very important role. So I'd love to hear from you, Metri. Tell us in plain terms, how do you see the JMA supporting this effort and your decision to come on board?
Well, when I heard Diane and Valerie speak, I realized that what we have here is a perfect marriage.
Okay.
2 women and 1 man. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, what we have is a perfect marriage here. Because what we have is the JMEA that has the base of membership. Our membership base is about 400 companies, most of which and many of which are small to medium-sized companies, which is the base that we need. Then we have Valerie, who is going to do the business development process, and then Jumper, that's going to deal with the export market. What we bring to the table is a lot of hand-holding. We are about solving problems and solving issues. So they're going to have issues. There's no question about it. I think one of the ways we could say it is that we're a big brother to the companies, and we hold their hands and we walk with them through the process. We just go, Valerie will take them to a particular stage, and then we will take them from there until we're ready to hand them off to Jampro to really go and do the export. But I wanted to say that the JMEA is fully committed to this program. That's why we have joined. We recognize how important it is. And as Diane said, it is probably one of the most important initiatives that any agency in Jamaica has put in place. The numbers speak for themselves, and we hope to be a part of this process going forward for a long time to come.
How does one apply for the program? Could you give some thoughts on that?
Thank you. I was hoping you'd ask that question. We have a kiosk at the back. We have several Jampro members of our team here. We have an expression of interest form, which you can get from our team at the back. Copies of the form are also available from the various agencies and on our website. www.dobusinessjamaica.com. You can download this expression of interest form and send it in, and we will be happy to contact you and start the journey with you, because this is a journey. It's a 3-year program. This is really about helping you through a process and on a journey to success. Tell your associates, people you know who have a product or who even have an idea. They can start talking to JBDC from the idea stage. So let's create a movement that can change export.
Thank you, Dan. So I'll throw it out. Any final thoughts?
This is an example, the collaboration, the example of how we in Jamaica should work together. Because no one institution or person has all the skills, all the information. And until we start putting the ego behind the door and working together, we're not going to move. So I'm celebrating from JBDC the kind of collaboration that we have agreed to have between our agencies. I think it's a good move, and we know success is down the lane.
Metri, any final
In
thoughts?
closing, I would ask everybody in this room, when you leave here today, call 5 persons that you know that are in business. Let us be oversubscribed.
Yes.
Let us have that problem. Let us reach back out to our sponsors and tell them that we need more from them, because this is good for Jamaica.
Thank you, Metri.
We have some Export Max graduates in the audience, and I think it's important not only to hear from us, but to hear from people who are actually on the program. So dare I say that Rita Hilton is on his
Yeah, they're going to be on the program. Yeah,
So Rita, Omar, I think you're all going to talk later on. So.
All right, a round of applause for the head of agencies. Thank you very much.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round view monitor, and hill start assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
I'm going to invite some past Export Max participants to speak. Rita Hilton from Carita, Jamaica, and Omar Azan, CEO of Boss Furniture. So in the spirit of ladies first, I'm going to ask Rita Hilton to come and just give a couple of remarks about her experience with Export Max.
I think this is a great opportunity. Having benefited from Export Max 2, I'd like to highlight some of the things that made it so important for me and what the results have been like. It was important for me because it allowed me to step into the Caribbean export market. Carita has been in business for 34 years, and our whole business is aligned with exports. We were primarily involved in fresh produce exports, but recently we've been adding value to Jamaican products and trying to build up that component of bringing more value to Jamaica. Now, with Export Max 2, what did I benefit from? Going into the Caribbean market, which I didn't know at all, and I have to tell you that out of that, we have one concrete market which we opened in the Bahamas. And that partner has been so impressed with our output that they have come with a proposal to invest in our company and buy equity into our company. I learned that I wasn't really completely prepared to take advantage of all the opportunities. So if you're going into Export Max 3, come with an open mind. You think you know it, you don't know it. Learn, absorb, and execute. You need to have a partner on the ground in the territory that you're going to be working with that will teach you about that market and the market needs. It's not Jamaica, and it is not the globe. It is a very special type of market, and each market has its own needs. So keep an open mind, learn from the opportunities. What was wonderful is the amount of work that Jampro put in before we went into the markets. And that was the critical success of the Export Max 2. Into every territory that we went, there were buyers available, and it wasn't the underlings that came to the market opportunities. They were high level personnel that came to talk business and to do business. The other thing that I learned so much from is the capacity building. You think you know how to run a business? Well, you don't, because the way you start is not the way you grow and keep on growing. You see all this white hair? that comes from years and years of learning. I started as a high school teacher, and our exports have reached close to $3 million US. And those are sales. That is not money to spend. That's money that you invest back in your business after you've paid the expenses. So don't think that you've achieved success and can drive a Mercedes-Benz. I still drive a pickup, okay?
I'll just say that for me, for my company, it's been an amazing experience. The team has been behind. There are times when I wasn't even up to doing some of the things, and they came and sat in my office and said, Omar, listen, we need you to get this thing done. And they would push me to do it. Today, I'll say historical. This is our first time in history that our company has receivables. Today, I checked it this morning, from 14 different countries owing me money at the end of this month to pay me, to pay my suppliers, where I think at the end of this month, I can probably pay all the suppliers I owe from just a foreign exchange earning. So that is a huge, huge, huge difference than where I was a few years ago. This is an excellent thing that JAMPRO is doing. I'll say it. You know me, I talk the truth every time I come up on the podium to speak. And, you know, we need to just get everybody behind this. Our Jamaican people, our staff in our factories, we need to push our exports to get this country going. Thank you.
I am inspired and excited this morning. And I want, on behalf of the entire team, JAMPRO, JMEA, JBDC, I just want to say thank you all for coming out and hearing this program and participating in this launch. So we're going to take you into the Caribbean, Europe, and the USA to sell your goods and services and to return with those all-important contracts and to deliver on the promise that you would have made to be a champion exporter. I expect this program will be a positive, life-changing experience for you and your businesses. So where do we go from here? The steps are very easy. We are inviting all business owners here to complete the registration expression of interest form. Following the expression of interest, you'll be required to complete a more in-depth application form. The deadline for submission will be January 30, 2019. Final selection of our participants will be done by March 15, 2019. And by April, MOUs with all the participants will be signed, and that's when the real work begins. But it will be exciting, it will be fun.
This has been the launch of Export Max 3, and I've been your host, Theodore Henry. Keep watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Do you want to build your company's capacity or export your products or services to new global markets? Then you can be a part of Export Max 3, an enterprise development program for Jamaican companies. Sign up today. Applications close January 31, 2019. Expand your business for export growth. Visit dobusinessjamaica.com for details. Export Max 3. Grow beyond borders. It's brought to you by JAMPRO, JMEA, and JBDC.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
On this episode of Wealth Magazine Business Access, Managing Director of Biz Tactics Limited, Sandra Glasgow, tells us about her educational pursuits.
So I don't regret the fact that I did a science degree because it's really molded the way that I think about problems.
Facilitating the growth of Jamaican businesses.
I get more satisfaction from helping people because there are hundreds of Jamaican businesses who have passed through my hands.
And being committed to nation building.
I just have a lot of passion for the stuff that I do, and I love it. I'm Sandra Glasgow, Managing Director of Biz Tactics Limited. So I'm the first child, and everybody tells me I'm bossy because of that. You know, my parents were very young when they were married. My mother was 19 and my father was 20. When my mother was 20, I was born, and my other 3 siblings came in quick succession, 1 year after the other. So, and then my parents were divorced pretty early. I think my mother must have been like 26 when she was divorced, with 4 young children. So it was a difficult time growing up, but my mother, Irene, is a very determined woman. She, at one stage, had several jobs just to take care of us. And I think, you know, I'm very much like my mother, very determined, hardworking, very ambitious, but very caring about my family, and that's who my mother was. So I went to Vaz Prep School as a young child, and then when my parents were divorced, my mother couldn't afford to send me to Vaz. So we all went to Providence Primary School, which was in Ligani at the time. It's now New Providence Primary. My mother in those days worked with the University of the West Indies, and we had a really good childhood. My father is from a very large family, the Walter clan from St. Mary. So I always had aunts and uncles to visit in the country. My grandfather owned a large farm, and we would have wonderful summers spending time with him and our aunts and uncles. So, you know, I was always very ambitious. And my siblings will tell you I sort of ruled with an iron hand because my mother was always busy at work. And I remember at 9, I used to go home and start cooking the dinner because we didn't have a helper. And I had to look after my siblings. So I learned very early how to take care of myself. I went to St. Hugh's High School. I got a scholarship from Providence Primary to St. Hugh's in 1967, and I enjoyed St. Hugh's very much. My 2 sisters, Denise and Claudia, also went there. My brother went to Jamaica College. And when I guess I was about 14, my now husband, my husband of 40 years in fact, came to live beside us in Mona. He was our next door neighbor, and we didn't actually have a fence between our homes. So, and we became fast friends. I was sort of introducing him to Kingston. He hadn't lived in Kingston before. And that blossomed into a relationship, and I was engaged when I was, I think I was 18 and a half years old. I was engaged to be married. And we got married when I was 20 in August 1976. So at St. Hugh's, I really enjoyed the sciences. And so in sixth form, I was doing biology, I think it was, and chemistry and physics. But I also enjoyed the languages. I was very good at French. I was French verse-speaking champion for many years. And when I was at St. Hugh's in fourth form, they introduced a novel program where some of the girls could do some O-levels in fourth form. So I attempted 3 O-levels, and I was successful. So that allowed me space to take on another subject when I was in fifth form. And so I took up Spanish and did Spanish at O-level in 1 year. So I not only did the sciences, but I enjoyed the languages as well. So I actually left St. Hugh's at the end of lower 6 because my mother was the assistant registrar for student affairs at UWI. And I realized that with my O-levels, I could get into the N1 program in the Faculty of Natural Sciences. So that's what I did. And I pursued a Bachelor of Science degree and my majors are actually zoology, marine biology, and applied botany. Those were my majors. But my father had a group of companies. He was always in business. And he told me that he wanted me to come work with him. So I had a job as soon as I graduated. So I went to work with my dad as general manager for a company called MFV Limited Trading as Garden Foods. And we made and bottled Solomon Gundy, hot sauce, a brown sauce, and pickles. And we exported those products to Trinidad and the rest of the Caribbean. It was a very interesting journey because having graduated from university, I had never done business. I had no business subjects on the, as part of my education. So I had to learn fast. I remember doing a marketing course at the Institute of Management and Production, and I essentially taught myself accounting. I took the accounting books and I went through them page by page and taught myself accounting. So working with my father was very interesting because I hadn't really grown up with him and I really revered him. I loved him very much. So when he invited me to work with him, I was really excited about that. In fact, one of the areas that I specialize in now is family business governance. And a lot of the things that I do with my clients today are things that mistakes that my father made in his business that I don't want anybody else to make. My father, I think, ran his businesses, in a very lifestyle manner. So the resources of the business would be used for his personal things, and he was a good Jamaican man, if you know what I mean. So, he and I sort of butted heads over some of those things. It was interesting because I was a general manager for this particular company and he was the managing director. And I would give my staff instructions in the morning and he would walk through the back door and give them instructions that were totally opposite to what I had told them. So it sometimes became quite testy between us. And after I spent 4 years with him, I said, I think this is it. I don't think that he really was ready to give up any control at all. And it was untenable for me to be running the company and not, sort of agreeing with him on how things should go. And that's a lesson that I have shared with a lot of my clients, because when you're starting, if you've started a business, at some point you have to get professional management in place. You know, the founder can't run all of these businesses, you know, and grow them successfully. And I would say to him, but Dad, I've gone to university, I've been trained, I know what I'm doing. And he would say, well, I went to the University of Life. So we parted company after 4 years, and I went on to do other things. I really tried to find a job after I left my dad, and I could not find a job. It was very difficult because I really wanted to go out to work.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
So there's a story I tell my students all the time, because after I left my dad, by this time I had 2 young children, 2 daughters, and my husband wanted me to stay home to look after them. And I had resisted that, you know, all along. I didn't want to do that, but I really tried to find a job after I left my dad, and I could not find a job. So I said, okay, I'll stay home with the girls. And it was very difficult because I really wanted to go out to work. And I remember my husband giving me a stipend, and I lived on South Avenue, and I would go down to Lee's Fifth Avenue. I had spent the stipend one time, and I then didn't have any money to put gas in the car or do some of the other things I needed to do. And I remember once going to him and saying, well, I need some more money, and he gave me a lecture about money management. So I said, oh no. So I said, you know what, I have got to find a job because this isn't going to work. My neighbor worked with an international organization called ICA, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture. And they were hosting a conference, and she needed somebody to address envelopes for 2 weeks. She was offering me a job, paying $250 a week, and my husband was giving me a stipend of $700 for the week. So I thought, well, $500 plus $700, I'm set, you know? So I took the job, and I finished addressing the envelopes in 3 days. And I said to my boss, who was an American woman, what next? And she said, okay, help me with this aspect of the conference planning. And then I finished that, and she said, help me with this other thing. And soon enough, the conference came around, and they asked me to stay on to help them with the execution of the conference. And at the end of it, I got an offer to work as a national professional with ICA. I don't regret the fact that I did a science degree because it's really molded the way that I think about problems. I look at them very scientifically, in fact. You know, I do the analysis, I come up with solutions. So I never regretted that I did the sciences, but I very much enjoyed business. When I worked with my dad, I just loved the idea that we were making products, that people were being employed, that we were exporting these products to other markets. And then when I transitioned into entrepreneurial education, I really loved sharing with other people and helping people to think about business in a different way. And you know, when I spent 20 years at CAST / it later became UTech, And people would always say to me, why aren't you, if you're so passionate about business, why aren't you running your own business? And I would always say to them, listen, I get more satisfaction from helping people because there are hundreds of Jamaican businesses who have passed through my hands. So I started my company after I left the PSOJ in 2013, in May 2013, in fact. And you know, when I left PSOJ, I decided I wasn't going to get another job. I thought I'd really had enough knowledge under my belt, and I was doing exciting things. I had done a number of things at PSOJ, particularly supporting SMEs. And so BizTactics really is, our tagline is supporting growth aspiring firms. And I do that through a number of interventions. One is corporate governance, because I believe that if a company doesn't have good governance, it's not going to grow effectively. So as I said earlier, I work with companies to set up their boards and to make, to bring in accountability and transparency and discipline. A number of small businesses don't have financial statements. They don't know where they are. They don't have strategic plans. So we work with companies to prepare their strategic plans. We help with the policies, the sort of operational framework that they need. And what I say to the companies that I work with, and most of them are really aspiring to become big businesses in the future. Some of them are hoping to list on the stock exchange. And I say to them, if you install these governance processes early, you will have the level of discipline and the accountability that will propel your company to growth. So that's what I do. I'm a trained trainer, so I'm trained in ethics for SMEs. I am knowledgeable about business incubation and acceleration, knowledgeable about angel investing. So I bring all of this knowledge base to bear in my work for BizTactics. One of my great desires is to see our economy grow. We've had so many years of economic stagnation. I mean, we're seeing the green shoots now. But I firmly believe that significant growth is only going to come through private sector endeavors. So, the more companies we have starting and growing, the more the economy is going to grow. More people are going to be employed. Those companies are going to pay more taxes. We're going to, create innovations, and we're going to put Jamaica on the map. I would say the last 30 years of my work has been towards this end. And so I have been doing a lot of work to look at the whole ecosystem for developing businesses in Jamaica. The DBJ is doing a great job, by the way, of pulling a number of the players together to make sure that whatever gaps exist are filled. And there are a number of things that I think we still need to do. Entrepreneurial education, I think, ought to start in the primary schools and be available in the secondary schools and at universities. I just have a lot of passion for the stuff that I do, and I love it. I love what I do. It's not hard to be motivated because I really love the work that I do.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access about business.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
I'm in my home office at 4 o'clock most mornings. People will tell you that they get emails from me at 3:30 or 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. That's how I work. And I get my best work done very early in the morning. But I just have a lot of passion for the stuff that I do, and I love it. I love what I do, so it's not hard to be motivated because I really love the work that I do. I tell people that I'm a covert feminist. And I really have always been helping my fellow female entrepreneurs and women in general to get ahead. This is, although we're described as a matriarchal society, men rule this economy, this country. So, one of the things I try to do is to get more women on boards, for example, because I think men and women bring different skills and attitudes to business, and I think a balance of genders is really important for business. So I wouldn't really say it's been a challenge or a problem, but breaking that glass ceiling can sometimes be difficult, and I have been in many situations where women are sort of stereotyped. That really gets me. My colleagues on the boards I sit on will tell you that. I'm not a stereotypical woman. I'm sort of not in the kitchen, although I like cooking. I'm a professional woman, so I really despise when men in particular try to put me in a box or try to keep me down. But it doesn't bother me really. I have done a lot of work with charities. I used to be on the board of Dress for Success Jamaica, and I really loved doing that. In 2010, when I was at the PSOJ, I worked very closely with Joe Matalon to start Youth, and I'm on the board of Youth now. It's actually been taken over by the ICD group, and I've done a lot of work. I've mentored the young people in the youth program, and I continue to support youth financially as well as giving them moral support. My daughter is actually the executive director of youth now, my daughter Alicia. I've also served on the board of Junior Achievement Jamaica, and I continue to support Alfie Mullins-Aiken in the work that she does with Junior Achievement. And I give to my church and the Cancer Society, but youth is really the main vehicle through which I do my philanthropy now. So for me, wealth is more than having money. I think having money is important because you want to live, and I enjoy living a certain lifestyle. But all of that would be nothing if I didn't have my family. I'm very, very, very family oriented. I've been married to the same guy for 40 years. And we have a wonderful relationship. We have 2 lovely daughters. Lorianne is head of marketing for Digicel in Trinidad. And my daughter, younger daughter, Alicia, is executive director for youth. And Alicia has gifted us with our first grandchild, Kai. Anybody who sees my WhatsApp profile will know that I'm a Nana, and Nana loves Kai. And I also have some very close friends. My closest friend is Ambassador Margaret Jobson, who is our ambassador in Germany. I met her when I went to Providence Primary, and we have been best of friends ever since. That was 1966. And I have other close friends, particularly girlfriends. We get together now and then. We celebrate each other's birthdays. I have a lot of acquaintances, but I would say I have a small number of real friends. And some of the people I work with, Joe Matalon is the chairman of my company, and he and his family are very, very dear to me. And my siblings. So I make time for all of those elements, those aspects of my life. I exercise, I should do more, but exercise is important. I love to party. Give me 70s music and I will dance all night. My friends will tell you that we love to go up into the hills and have picnics, and my husband and I have decided that we're going to try out every hotel in Jamaica. So we frequently, go for weekends with the family, and I just have a really blessed life.
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canosol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
My name is Christelle Harris. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
That allows young people in Jamaica to learn a skill and gain meaningful employment. It's called the Youth Upliftment Through Employment, YOUT.
YOUT is a non-profit organization that provides employability and life skills training for unattached youth. That's young people who are neither in an educational institution nor employed. And we provide them with life skills and employability training through a number of our programs. YOUT targets young people between the ages of 16 to 29 from the inner city communities of Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine. There are a couple criteria that we try and meet. Those include, as I said, the age group cohort of 16 to 29. They would have to be unattached, meaning that they are not in an educational institution or employed. And they would also have to come from one of the 33 communities that we target, which cut across Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine. The programs that we have, I think, have had a dramatic impact on the young people. I feel that we have had tremendous success in training young people and getting them ready for the world of work. I think that YOUT has, even through the recent acquisition of YOU, has kind of enhanced our ability to deliver additional value-added programs to young people and provide them with not only skills training and employability, but also mentorship and support that will allow them to be successful, whether in the programs and in the world of work. Our flagship program is Youth Build. It's an 18-month program that we do in collaboration with the HeartTrust NTA and the National Housing Trust, as well as Jeep. Through the Youth Build program, we were able to place 100 young people in employment opportunities for 3 months. We also provide young people with, as I said, life skills training, which gives them a little bit of knowledge about how it is that you're supposed to operate within the world of work. We found that the results have been tremendous. We've had a lot of stories coming out of the Youth Build program of young people who have had their lives changed through the program, and that's kind of what we're about, changing lives. We also have a program called Youth Lens Support that we partnered with eMedia Interactive, who are our training partners. That program was funded by Australian Aid. And what that program did was we trained 70 young people over a 2-year period in film production, pre-production, production, and post-production. And we also place those young people in job opportunities. Business Access was one of the partners that provided us with placements, as well as Flow and a number of other companies. Youth Microwork is a program that trained 50 young people in how to access work online. It's really a partnership that came about through Digital Jam 2 years ago. And what it does is it allowed us to partner with a company called Crowdflower, which is based in the US, to provide access for the young people to work opportunities. We've also provided the young people with leadership training, and we're looking to soon have financial literacy training for all of those participants, so that they're not only able to make the money, but they're able to be more aware of how to best use the money that they're making online to better themselves. The program is funded by the Joan Duncan Foundation. We also have provided recently training in the use of a platform called FIFA through Internet Income Jamaica. And so we wanted to make sure basically that all these young people have a myriad of ways to access work opportunities so that they can be more successful.
Internet Income Jamaica working with youth, and we are just having a training here where we are teaching persons how they can make money online. So you know that we're having the economy issue where persons unable to find a job. So what we're doing is we're showing them how they can actually make money online through freelancing. So it's just basically working in exchange for money. So you don't have to be in a physical job to actually work. So we introduce them to this site where persons are looking for a person to do like data entry or transcription or video editing. So we just facilitate that. The thing is to set up your profile and to set it up properly. So that's what we actually teach, how to set it up properly.
I was informed that there was going to be a workshop or training for us, additional training. And I didn't know that it was Income Jamaica because I've heard about it and I'm psyched, especially because there are categories that are so broad and it encompasses everything that I can do. So I am willing and prepared to do my best and just enjoy this.
Coming up on Caring Hands. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
Through youth, hundreds of young people are given the opportunity to recognize and develop their potential.
A lot of our young people today are out of work. Unemployment rate for youth is about triple the national average. And so young people need to find creative and productive ways to engage themselves and to be able to empower themselves to be active and productive citizens of the country. The Multicare Foundation is actually our sister foundation, as I mentioned before. I have responsibility for both. And the Multicare Foundation actually treats with a target market of 6 to 18 years old. And these are youngsters from vulnerable communities. And so 2016 will also mark increased and improved synergies between youth and the Multicare Foundation, as well as our partnership with YOU. We have acquired YOU, and YOU now will extend its mentoring program to all the programs that are housed with youth. So that's Multicare, Youth, YOU, Fight for Peace, and NEO. One of the things that I like to share with young people is they have to create a vision for themselves. That's the starting point. We are here, though, to help them to define a path for themselves. It's you know, even with people who are educated and have skills, work is hard to find out there. So we encourage our young people to get in touch with us, see if we have a program that's a good fit for you. What's your alternative?
Youth has a board of directors, a number of volunteers who have really been very helpful in getting us thus far. We have recently collaborated and are working towards a merger with the Multicare Foundation, which is an ICD foundation, and that the Multicare Foundation supports younger people from age 6 to 18. And so we're really looking at the gamut of the youth population, because youth unemployment is a serious problem in this country, and we want to make sure that our young people are employed, actively contributing to the society, and that will ensure that they are not involved in activities that might lead to crime and violence. So we also have some great plans. We have some programs which are soon to get underway. Youth is a program that started in 2010 to support at-risk youth in Kingston and the Kingston metropolitan area. The whole idea is really to get them engaged and employed and contributing to society, and we do that through a number of training programs that focus on areas in which these young people can make a contribution and get jobs, and also to improve their outlook on as citizens of the country, to share with them critical life skills that are going to make them employable and significant contributors to the development of the society. We're actually in the second phase of the program. Between 2010 and 2013, this was a program operated out of the private sector organization of Jamaica. Since that, the ICD group has adopted the program, and we are taking a slightly different approach to implementing the project or the program. It's not really a project, it's an ongoing program. We're trying to provide critical skills in areas of innovation. I mean, we are here at the Microwork Center. That is one of the areas that we're looking at. Really some non-traditional areas, but also some traditional skills areas that are certainly growing and that provide opportunities for employment. We really put a lot of focus on making sure that we work with our partners, people in the private sector, in non-governmental organizations, and in the public sector to adequately prepare these young people for jobs. And we do provide a placement service that follows on the training. Most of our programs have an element of internship. So while the young people are learning, they're also getting employment opportunities and learning how it is to be employed. Youth has been focusing on some critical areas, as I said earlier. One of them is construction. We have a program with the National Housing Trust that has been going very well for the last 3 years. That's called Youth Build. And we're just about finishing our second phase of Youth Build and hope to start a third phase. And that has been really very successful. We have managed to place a number of the participants, and some of them have, I should say, the Heart Trust is one of our key partners. They provide the training. And for those who participated in phase 1 and phase 2, we've had some really impressive results with some of those young people going on to do higher levels of certification at Heart. We're very proud of that program. As you can see here, the young people are learning how to generate income, providing their skills and services on the internet, and that's a growing area of employment, and we're really working to equip our participants with the skills needed to be successful in this area.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
David, Raven, and Ricardo are all participants of the youth program. They are all interns at eMedia.
The youth program overall, it was a great experience, and I liked the whole thing. I learned a lot from it, and it helped me a lot to get myself in a job. I hear about the program from a close friend of mine who introduced me to it and told me to join the program as well. Everything changed because pretty much I like the whole grasp of the fundamental and how youth program set up, where I learned video editing, you name it, the whole video production. So I start at the basic experience before I actually go on to the actual work. I'm working at eMedia Interactive Group Limited, and my role here is photographer. And I do video editing from time to time and graphic design. For youths out there, like who's probably thinking that it is hard to get a job out there now. You see, if you get the opportunity, you actually come on board and the youth program take very great interest of it and just do it at your best ability and just be you, be yourself and just be real as possible. What I want to say to youth is thanks a lot because I learn a lot from them and myself individually and the world of work and how it's been experienced.
My name is Ricardo here. I took part in the Youth Learning Support Program in 2014. It actually opened my eyes to a field that I've always been curious about. Before, I never really had much experience with it. But now it's like, whoa, there's so much to it. I love editing and I love filming. Just me and my friends just have crazy ideas and we just shoot stuff, edit it, just for fun. Working here has been a wonderful experience. I have great co-workers. We have ups and downs, but it's a whole lot of fun. I get to go to meet a lot of people, exciting people, which have traveled all over the island.
I heard about the youth program from a friend. He told me about the program and asked me if I'm interested, and I said yes. So he gave my contact to some people and I got a call, I believe the day after. Yeah, and right there and then I did an over-the-phone interview and I was so lucky that I was approved to be a part of the youth program in 2014. At the youth program, I was mainly focusing on directing. I was a developing director. Yeah, so being through youth, we were split into a group of 5. My group, we were very excellent, but we have flaws, like a lot. So I stretched my arms out and did almost a bit of everything there. So I fell in love with the whole media thing, and now I want to pursue this as a career, so youth really helped me. Now I'm an intern at InMedia Interactive, and my career here is lighting, a gaffer for those professionals, and for those who might not know, I'm a lighting technician, so I do lighting on set, photography, videos, etc., whatever you need. My experience here at InMedia is very excellent. Since I've been here, I've learned a lot, meet new people, I've been to lots of places. It's been overwhelming. I really enjoyed it here. And I'm really thankful for Tyrone, who employed me here. For those at home probably not doing anything or isn't employed right now, there's a program out there that's called Youth. I'm a participant and I'm employed now, full-time. So I would advise you all to just get there, join the program, and be like me, achieve it, go for it.
It's going to be a very exciting year for youth. 2016 marks the beginning of our new employment opportunities for youth program in Jamaica. NEO is a program of the IDB, and we have a Jamaican alliance of a number of private, public sector and NGO interests at the table. The goal of that program is really to provide training opportunities, skills training opportunities for about 8,000 Jamaican youth, as well as an additional 2,000 youth will benefit from employment placement. So we're really excited about the program. It's a 3-year endeavor, and we're hoping really to make a mark in terms of employability and youth in Jamaica, to tackle unemployment. We are also joining forces, the Fight for Peace, which is a Brazilian organization that focuses on boxing and martial arts, to engage young people in holistic development. They will be joining us at the youth offices. So we're looking to create a youth development hub where we are now, with a number of international and local partners. So, we all have the common goal of youth development in Jamaica, And so we're looking strategically at working together to bolster our efforts.
Advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
All human life is precious. Respect life. No more senseless killing. No more.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transpire and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process, because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIP, that in 2 or 3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start their production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.